Alright, so the brew date is on. Right now I'm just catching up on some of your guys' videos while I heat up strike water. Let's see here, I'll just talk about it real quick, then we'll go take a look. My strike water, I started it at like 68 degrees is what it said. It's up to 92 degrees already, and that was in not even a couple minutes, maybe 4 minutes. It's up in the low 90s already. And I did that while I was measuring out my salts for my mash. So let's go take a look at the panel and see everything working. Alright, so we got everything hooked up. As you can see, we were just talking, it's up to 95. We're shooting for 128. We're doing a 2-step mash on this one. Heat's coming on. Take a look here, you can see it heats rather quickly. And the nice thing about this, I know like everyone has seen with Tony, his electric brewery, he uses the PID percentage to control how hard the element's putting out. Well, on this one, there's actually a rheostat for it. So right now, it's all the way up, full power to heat up this strike water as quickly as possible. And then once I do go to the boil, I can control how vigorous it boils, and we'll show that later. Right now we're just going to heat this water up. It's at 100 degrees, so we're almost there, and then we're going to get ready to mash in, and we'll show that. Cheers. Alright, so the heating element just kicked off. We've reached our 128 degrees, and I mentioned this in the day 1 video that I got to figure out exactly how much dead space I have in there. So we're going to start with finding out how much dead space we have in the bottom, and then I'll show putting the coil on, and we'll figure out how much dead space we have in that as well. So we'll be back in just 1 minute. We're going to start, actually, you know what? I will show you how the pump works. What we'll do is we're going to turn on the pump. So we're going to flip on the switch here. And you heard that just came on because the probe's only, isn't even the water yet. But our first step's 128, so we'll get that set. I gotta flip some valves so we don't fry it. Alright, so we're going up into here. That one's open. Alright, so we'll open this valve on the kettle. Get some water into it and prime it. So then we'll flip this on. The pump's gonna kick on, and I'm gonna bring it up to the bottom of the false bottom. So we'll be back in just 1 minute. Alright, so I just put a bucket down there to catch any water. That way I don't have a mess all over the floor. Everything's set up for recirculating now. And if we take a look in here, you can see there's just water up to the bottom of the false bottom there. And now I gotta check to see how much dead space I have through my HLT coil and into the spar jar. So I'm gonna open up this valve. Sorry about this. Trying to do this with one hand's not always easy. That one's already set up. We got this one closed for now. And then we're going to open up the HLT coil, the HLT valve back up, and turn the pump back on. And I'm going to recirc that just until I see water come out of the spar jar in here. And then at that point, I can measure how much and figure out how much dead space I have exactly. But this pump was primed good, so I don't know why it's... There we go. Alright, so now I can go over here, I can take my calibrated spoon that I showed in the first video, figure out how much water I've moved out so far, and that'll tell me exactly how much dead space I have in the mash tun. I'm going to get that calculated, and we'll add the grains, and we'll start mashing. Alright, so I've added my grains, and according to Beersmith, I need 4.75 gallons. That includes the recalibration for the dead space, which is 4 or 1.5 gallons. So according to this, for this recipe, I need 4.75 gallons of water. So I'm just gonna start to fill it and I'm going to take it down to till I have about 4.5 gallons left in my kettle. I did the math already, and that should give us enough. And also from learning through watching Time for Another One, Paul Wicksteed, I'm actually going to bottom fill, and it helps to push all the air out of the grain bed. So I'm going to go ahead, and I got my valve open for the bottom filling. Let's see here. This needs to go like that. I got to unhook this line, and that can go in there. Open up this. Whoa. Oh, this is tough. First brew day, and I'm trying to do all this along with show everyone what's going on. A little water. We'll get that cleaned up, learning from our mistakes. Alright, there we go. Now I think we got everything set. And I'm going to go ahead and bring the pump on. I'm going to set the temp for this to be 128 degrees. And we're going to start measuring. 4 gallons would be the second line from the bottom down in there, in that halfway mark. So we'll just do right to the middle between the third and the fourth, or the second and third line on there. Then I'm going to have to go and add some water to this kettle, but I already knew that was going to have to happen for this system to work properly. So I'm going to do that. We're going to fill up the grains. Hopefully we should see water coming up soon. There it is. Just started to come out. I know it's a little dark and hard to see, but there we go. And we just hit our 4.5. I turned the pump off, and I'm going to get some more water in, and we're going to start recirculating. Alright, so just while we're doing the mash right now, was it a little over ambitious to try and film the first brew day on this thing? Oh hell yeah, it was. But you know what? It's working. Yeah, I spilled some water, big whoop-de-doo. Got it cleaned up already. I like to try and keep things as clean as possible while I'm brewing. But yeah, definitely learning some things, I should say. I wasn't as well prepared for certain elements as I thought I was, but you know what? Things are coming along. The system's doing what it's supposed to do, and we'll take a look at it here in a little bit. I'm just going to let it get happy and get everything stabilized. So cheers. Alright, welcome back again. I'm sorry this video is choppy and all over the place, but here's one of the cool things about the panel. My mash tun here, I have it set for 122, has reached 122. Notice how quiet it is? Besides the furnace running, because I've been doing electrical work all day and haven't had any heat air conditioning in the house. Anywho, the pump has shut off. Also, I bumped up the hot liquor tank. Just it's nice to have that higher temp in there already. That has turned off. As you heard, the pump just kicked on. It hit 122. It wanted to bring it up, and it'll automatically do this the entire time to maintain temperature for whatever I have it set to. See it circulating. It looks like it's got a little bit too much water in there, and that would be partly my fault because I was playing with the camera and not paying attention. But as you heard, it just turned off again. Mash tun temp showing at 124, and it'll just keep circulating and doing its thing automatically. I could walk away right now and completely leave it, but since it's my first day, I'm going to sit here and watch it all like a hawk. And what I'll do is I get closer towards needing to increase the temperature. I'll bump up the temperature on my hot liquor tank. Then I'll do it on the mash tun when it gets time to increase the temp, and it'll start recirculating, and we'll do the next step, and we will be back for that. See you. Alright, welcome back to some more fun and excitement. Timer just went off on Beer Smith. It's time to ramp up for our sacrification rest of 148. And Mr. Nate Elder is trying to call in and join me, and his connection sucks. But anyway, we ramped it up. I also ramped up the heat in the HLT, just so I'm always above what I'm setting my mash tun to. Pump's kicked on. and it's just going to town. It still looks a little cloudy. I'm not quite sure why. I mean, I did use a Corona mill, which grinds it quite fine, but whatever. We'll work for it. It'll all settle out later. So we're gonna hang out. This is a 75-minute rest on this one, and I'm gonna sit down and watch your videos and talk to Nate. See you. Alright, so we've completed the mash out and everything. What we're doing now is sparging, and this is gonna be a fly sparge. There's our runnings coming off nice and slow. Still can't figure out why it's so cloudy, but whatever, it is what it is, right? So we're gonna be doing the runnings nice and slow. We got the sparge going here, and that's almost too much. So we're gonna back everything off here, slow everything down. Just so we can keep it going. I got the pump running. We're just sparking out. As you can see, the lines have all cleared up already. I've already ran water through there. We're gonna do this. This should take about an hour or so, and then we'll move on to the boil. All right. So one thing a lot of people were wondering was, how do I do the HLT boil kettle combo? Well, it's plain and simple. My HLT coil is attached to my lid. I take the lid off, I unhook the hoses, and it's all said and done. We're starting to boil out. I'm supposed to have 6.75 gallons. I only have 6.25. Mash tun's empty. Got to get cleaning that. But we're coming up to a boil. We're at 192 now, so we're going to have to start watching it. And my first readings for the pre-boil gravity came out 1.025. I'm going to take the temperature and check that, but according to the adjustment, I'm looking at like 1.048, which is like crazy high. So I'm going to take another check on that, check the temperature, and make sure everything's looking good and see what we got. We're hanging out on Uvu. Nate from Under the Table Brewing, drinking a home brew, and having a good time on this brew day. See you. So all in all, the brew day was a success. Had a couple of messes getting the quirks worked out, but I hit my numbers spot on. Just finishing up the boil, you've all seen that, and we'll put it in the fermenter and all that, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday and see how it's coming along. Hope everyone has a good weekend, and we will talk to you later. See you.